So today, Fresno State held their annual spring preview that's open to the public. And I say spring preview, not spring game, because it was more like the last practice of the year that the public was able to see. We have not played a real spring game here since the Pat Hill era. It was a good crowd. I'd say a couple thousand people showed up. The red and lot was mostly full. White lot sold some slots. And, they gave a cancer kid, my Make-Wish Dream kid, a chance to score a touchdown. You'll probably see it on the Fresno State social media accounts. Very classy move by the university, and it's something that'll make you very proud. The big thing that I took away from the preview that we were able to see, the scrimmages and so forth, is how tight the quarterback battle is. And it wasn't between Joshua Woods and Jaden Mandel like you might have thought. It was between Joshua Woods and E.J. Warner, Kurt Warner's son. They both got spots at the first rep. They both got to play the first rep. Now, I personally think, just based on what I saw today, based on one scrimmage of about an hour and a half, Joshua Wood has a very slight lead that will go into the fall. I mean, it's not a runaway by any stretch of the imagination. But Wood brings a dynamic element that a Fresno State quarterback might never have had. Right? Like Marcus Mariota, Jake Haener, Derek Carr could move when they had to, but Joshua Wood, man, can move. He is a true dual threat quarterback, and I think because of the type of offense that North Carolina State ran under ends with the likes of Trey Lance, he will end up getting the job. Now, what other highlights would I take away from this day? Well, the tight ends were used a lot. Richie Anderson, Jay Dixon, Bleachum. It seemed like every tight end had at least one catch. And that's not something we've seen for years. All right, Jeff Tedford barely used tight ends. I think really, gosh, when was the last time they really were a feature? Maybe 2018? And that was a surprise because he used tight ends a lot at Cal. But, today, looks like, based on what we saw today, tight ends are going to be a big feature in his offense. On the defensive front, there were just so many new faces in this era transfer portal that I just had trouble keeping track of them. If you want to get name names, I would suggest you go to Jackson Moore's Blackboard VIP room. But I can talk in general units. If they were allowed to, they would have laid the wood. They were all good, from secondary, defensive line. They kicked butt. And it's a repeat of what we saw in the two previews before the last season, where the defense kicked butt. And that was good in the sense that it meant the defense lived up to expectations. They played really well last season. But it also meant the offense was really lackluster last season and cost us, at least 4 games. So, it's good to see the defense play like that, lay the wood, but I don't know, man. Offense, I don't want to repeat it last year. Could be the style of play for the offense. They want to run the ball a lot more and do what North Carolina State does with Matt Entz. So, that's just the broad takeaways I had from this whole, like I said, I can't name names, can't really do that. Just thought your Freeman looked really good. And, Dylan Lynch. Oh, boy. I think we're going to need a new kicker. I mean, I always, for the local guys, use from Bakersfield, that onside kick at San Diego State in 2022, makes him a legend, but oh boy, dude. We might need a new kicker. Jeez. I don't want to go through that again. I don't want that side of the field where he has to kick be almost a I don't know why Baxter keeps him around. I don't know. But there were also a lot of former dogs in the house today, from Maurice Norris to the Carr brothers. So many former dogs who are in the NFL and not, retired and so forth. All here today. Great to see Matt Entz really connect with those former Bulldogs, after how emotional the hiring was over the likes of Tim Skipper. Would he keep that connection? Mike Stovall, Dwayne White, and other guys just dissing the move. Good to see that most everybody's in the fold and is bought in. And that's good to see. The program is bigger than one man. And now that Matt Entz is the coach, we should root for him to succeed. But I didn't like seeing Evan Williams there. Evan Williams is a traitor. He went to Oregon, okay? Whenever you watch any player bio thing or like on Sunday Night Football player intros, he says Oregon. He's a traitor. What the hell is he doing back here? I know people are going to disagree with me on that, but that's just how I feel. You know, if you're a starter and your coach is still around, you have no excuse to transfer. If you weren't going to get playing time, and you go somewhere else, that's what the transfer portal is for. Or even if you have a different coach, your coach leaves. Don't do what he did. All right. So yeah, it was a fun day. I'll post some baseball stuff later. We won that game. I got the full experience. Sunblast. Spent all day there. Fun time. Can't wait for next year.